Welcome to Whyheem, my YouTube channel where I talk about anime, things of that nature. And today we actually got something different on the page. We got a story time about how I got my ass beat by 4 niggas in Baltimore. And if you actually read the whole title, you would see it was at an AAU tournament with my father actually present. It's just something random I'm doing on the page, saying fuck it, and I just felt like doing it. But I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the story. Now, the necessary context you need to understand the little Negro that was me at the age of 14 years old was that I liked pissing people off. This shit was fun. I like seeing motherfuckers mad. I like seeing them get to a point where they can't control themselves. And the thing is, when I started playing basketball, it only made that issue worse. Because the difference is, in regular life, I can get my ass beat. But on a basketball court, you beat my ass, I win the game damn near. So that's the context. I was a very ignorant little Negro. But we don't have to worry about that. But what we do need to worry about is as I'm going into this AAU tournament, playing my famous decks, my little Uzi, and just a smidge of smoke perp, I am out of my fucking mind. The tournament prior, I averaged 16, 5, and 3. Now, I was a point guard, so that 3 is kind of fucking ridiculous. But I was feeling myself and I was kind of going crazy. So the first 2 games we played this Baltimore tournament, we win. I scored like 10 points in each. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. But going to this third game, which was the game full of local kids from Baltimore, the best team probably at the tournament, where every one of them niggas were at least 6'1 to 6'2. Keep in mind, this is a 9th grade tournament. There is no reason why they should be that motherfucking big, but they was. And as we go into this game, I look around to check on my Caucasian teammates, and they look like they're scared out of their fucking minds. Every one of them is not prepared for what is about to happen. Now, I did have some African Americans with me, but they even look scared. So then I realized that I need to step up to the plate and not look pussy, because somebody need to be ready to play. We can't just get our ass whooped and just get sent home. Somebody gotta be ready to hoop. And to start the game off, I got my shit swatted to the 3rd row because I wanted to send a message that this is not gonna be a good game in any way possible. We got our ass whooped in that first half. We got down 25, I think it was 25, 26 points. The small forward on the other side had like 16 points, all layups on the fast break. I had like 3 turnovers. My other teammate had like 5. It was fucked up. We had no chance against these motherfuckers. But I decided at halftime that I was gonna change something, that I was gonna put in a effort, that I was gonna leave this bitch with something. Now, what that something is kind of insane, but I was gonna have fun. So I started talking shit to the point guard on the other side, and I figured out, based off his teammates calling his name, that his name was Jax. Now, did I make a corny ass joke about his name being Jax, potentially Jackson? No. I decided to wait and find an opportunity, you know, like a lion waiting for its prey. All I did was wait for a very clownable moment, you know, just enough where I could say some shit. And that moment was when he waved to his mama. I look over at his mama and she had them racks. I'm talking bigger than my head. I'm talking, this is the perfect opportunity to say something, but I knew that I couldn't say it at the moment. I had to wait until the perfect opportunity, and thankfully I did. It was about midway through the 3rd quarter. I gave this motherfucker a cross jab. Went ahead, did a rondo fake. Low-key wasn't a rondo fake, but I tried it. Then went up and one over the top of his head, and I did say, bitch ass nigga. I did not need to say BAN in any way possible. That was very unnecessary on my part. Bitch ass nigga. I caught a tech, but for some reason the whole team was mad at me, not just the point guard. I don't know if their comprehension skills in Baltimore just not the way it needs to be, because I said bitch ass nigga, not niggas. Why are y'all mad at me? This is supposed to be a one-on-one situation, but now it is turned to the whole team wants to whoop my ass. So then the next play we go down, I get a steal. I actually am wide open on this play, and I go for a layup, but then all of a sudden I see a Pascal Siakam build fly through the sky, and I did a reverse layup. They gave me the and one again. So I sat there and grabbed the ball and handed it to the ref and just shook my head because I did not want to get kicked out of this game. So after that second and one, I'm feeling myself. I'm going crazy. And as me and Jax pass by his mama again, I sit there and say to him, damn, your mama got some big ass titties. The wildest statement I possibly could have said to a motherfucker that is taller and bigger than me. But he decides to say, what the fuck did you just say? Like a gentleman, clearly. I sit there and say, huh? I didn't say nothing. But the problem was, in that type of rage bait, you have to conceal the smile. I couldn't do it. So instead of sitting there saying, huh? I didn't say nothing, I sat there and said, huh? I didn't say nothing. Like a fucking goofball. So now he's like, all right, wait till after this game is done. And I didn't know what that meant because, bitch, I'm taking off after this game anyway. 3rd game of the day, brother, I'm done. Who gives a fuck? And then on top of it, we lost this game. This tournament only has a winner's bracket. I didn't give a fuck. In my head, he was just talking shit. He wasn't gonna do nothing to me. me. But then we get to the end of the game where we're forced to shake hands, and he sat there and looked at me and said, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. Now, the amount of malice that was in his eyes was very unreasonable for what I actually said. I said your mama has some big ass titties and you want to kill me. I don't think that equates in any way possible. But fuck it, no joke intended. Let that nigga have it. I'm not gonna tell him how he wants to live his life. I grew up boxing anyway. I could deal with this shit if I need to. But right after that game was done, we met with our teams and then we just went about our ways. But the thing is, as we was walking away, my coach sat there and said something that I thought was pretty blasphemous of, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I turn around and say, Coach, we lost. There is no tomorrow, goofy. And he sat there and said, no, Kai, we won 2 out of 3 games and we're the last seed. So then I go and look at him again and say, Coach, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we do that? But then he actually shows me the email that shows that we are gonna play tomorrow. So now I am in danger. As I walk back in my father with a look that almost looked like I was about to shit myself, he sat there and asked me, hey, y'all good? And I decided to lie to my dad and say my ankle hurts a little bit. I don't know, it's just a little uncomfortable. And my pops doesn't take any bullshit. For anybody who will know about these story times, my dad does not play any fucking games. So he sat there and said, don't worry, we'll ice it up. You'll be all good to go to play tomorrow. I say, Dad, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play tomorrow. And he said, yes, you will. So that was the end of the discussion. Again, my dad plays no fucking games. So I decided to be able to survive that Sunday that I was gonna be around people at all times, so they simply can't beat my ass. But then I'll fast forward to the Sunday and I'm walking around checking every single corner because I'm where these motherfuckers live. The crevices, the alleys, all this shit. They know I do not. They have field advantage and they have Negro arm length advantage combined with being more angry than me. That is always the most important part of a fight. Finding somebody that wants to fight more than you is the problem with fights 90% of the time. I'm a rage baiter, not a fighter, gang. I'm not supposed to be doing this shit, but fuck it, now I gotta defend myself. So the coaches asked us to get to the tournament about 2 hours early. We was gonna talk about our game plan and all that shit going into the games. And the problem was my dad actually left something in his truck before we got to the gym. But the real problem was when we got in the gym, my dad told me, hey, I left something in the truck.
Could you get it for me?
Now, the real issue at hand is I don't know what the fuck he's asking by that. Now, obviously the issue with that would be that I have to go by myself in the parking lot outside of the school if I were to do that. And I look at my dad and I say, nah, simple. And then he looks at me and he goes, huh? And my dad looked like he was about to beat my ass. So I'd rather get an ass beating for somebody else than my father. So I said, all right, Dad, I'll do it. So he unlocks the truck and he says, don't worry, my wallet is in the back seat. That was what I was grabbing. Sorry, just said that. So my plan now was I gotta run, right? I gotta sprint, and that's the only way that I can get past this shit. And the thing is, I have no clue if they're watching me. Deadass. They could be in the game. I have no clue. But the problem is, I can't see these dark ass niggas in these alleyways. There's no way for me to see them. So it don't matter if I'm looking in a certain direction. I can't see them. I don't know where they're at. So I get myself in a stance. I'm at the double doors at the front of the school and I take the fuck off. I'm running as fast as I can to my dad's truck. And at first, I'm cool. There's nothing happening. I get to my dad's truck. I get his wallet. I'm running back to the school and all of a sudden, fucking see him. Jax was right there, ready to beat my fucking ass, and I knew he was hiding and waiting the whole time. But the thing is, one-on-one fight, I'm alright. I'm gonna come out of it somewhat decent. But then these niggas decided to present themselves like they the fucking Ninja Turtles, and one slides from the right, one just runs from the school, and another one, for some reason, was hiding behind a bush, and then they all come out, and I do my math. I say 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", and 6'1". Holy shit, I am in Baltimore. That was my first thought, actually. The height meant something, but it really didn't mean shit until I realized that I'm in the worst city that I ever could have did this shit. So they decided to get a few words off and say, hey, you shouldn't have done that shit. And I had a brick right next to me. So I decided to throw that brick and start running because they can't take off if there's a brick flying in the air. I take off running. Keep in mind, I have some speed. So I'm taking off. I got some good distance on them. I'm taking off. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just going somewhere. So then I'm pacing. But then when I look behind me, I realized the 6'6" motherfucker was right behind me. He, for some reason, was genuinely Usain Bolt and was hawking my ass down. So I go, whoo, and I'm like, I gotta put another gear in. So now I'm really moving. I'm putting everything I got in my body, and I'm starting to get some distance from him. But at the end of that street was a crosswalk, and there was a bunch of cars that was going back and forth. So there was either two ways I can go about this. Either run into somebody's car and then deal with that situation, or bust a left and try to maybe outrun this African around the corner. And thankfully, I hit that corner, and the 6'6" motherfucker slipped. But this was the problem. I realized that I was only outrunning one dude, and there's four of them. Where the fuck are the other three? And I found that out very quick, because as I turned the corner and I whip my head, I see the 6'4" right in the middle of my fucking chest. And I'm on this ground, and I'm realizing that I am now in full danger. There's nothing I can do, and they proceed
to beat my motherfucking ass.
I saw feet, I saw hands. One of them ripped some hair out of my head. I got kicked in my back, I got kicked in my knee, I got literally my shoes taken. Thankfully, I didn't have my basketball shoes on, I had my casual shoes on, but them niggas still took my fucking Nikes. And this ass beating probably continued for like a minute or two. I couldn't tell you how long it was, because I'm just guarding my head trying not to die. But then them niggas started picking me up and punching me in my fucking ribs. I'm so dead ass, these Baltimore niggas are fucking ridiculous. I'm like, why am I in the air right now? So I jumped to the ground, and they just start stomping me the fuck out even more. They got more mad that I didn't allow them to do what they wanted to do. But there was one kick that I will always remember, that I got right in the back of my neck, and my neck dash went goop like this, and I for a second was out. I'm so dead ass. Like, I saw nothing but black for about a second. I thought I actually died, and I got my complete ass whooped. It was awful. Clothes were all dirty. It was all fucked up. My jersey had rips and shit. I had bruises all over my body. It was just awful. And that was why the walk of shame to my dad's truck with socks on and a ripped jersey. But I decided to use that walk of shame to go back to my dad's truck to grab my replacement jersey, my tights, and my long sleeves, because they primarily didn't hit my face because I covered my face the whole time. But you can see scratches and blood all over my arms and my legs. I didn't want to look like a bitch to my dad, and on top of it, I didn't want the ass whooping to get worse. So I put that stuff on. I was naked as shit for a little bit in public, but I had to do what I had to do. And then I did grab my dad's wallet. I came back, gave him his shit, and he said, damn, why'd you take so long? And I just told him, I'm like, hey, I saw a friend out there and started talking. I apologize, Dad. And I could say legitimately, my dad sat there and looked down and said, where the fuck are your slides at? I dead ass say, I don't know. And thankfully, I was still in the condition to play our first game, and we lost anyway. I scored 2 points, and my dad yelled at me for being ass all the way home. And once I got home and I took a bath, you would think the fucking sun itself touched my body. Every cut, I felt like hell. Every bruise, my knee was fucked up. I actually figured out later that my kneecap was partly broken from that. My back felt awful. My shoulder felt awful. My neck, again, I literally was struggling to turn my neck like these. I got my complete ass whooped, all because I wanted to say a nigga's mom's titties were big. And I learned a lesson that day of leave Baltimore niggas alone. My rage baiting days had to come to an end. It had to end somewhere near that day. It wasn't beneficial anymore, and it wasn't fun anymore. But that is the end of the story. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you want more shit like this on this page. But please, lesson, guys, is just leave people alone. All right, be nice to people. Don't comment on a man's mom's titties. Don't do that. It's not great. It's not fun. It doesn't work out the way you want it to. Just be a good person. If you're wondering why I'm a good person today, it's because of that shit. Yeah, shout out to my editor, Yungfaxmachine. That's my dog. That's my boy. Say hi to him. And for an outro question, which professional athlete do you think you could take in a fight? I'm just gonna straight up and say right now, Trae Young, easy. I love Trae Young. He's one of my favorite basketball players, but I swear to God, I could piece his ass up. As long as I'm not getting jumped, I should be cool. But peace.